Namaskar, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, Ola, and a very warm welcome to you all in this launch event, which is brought to you by Indican Friendship Club. Well, yes, आज का ये इवेंट जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा यादगार होने वाला है and we all are going to witness our most amazing panel members as well as special performances lined up for you all. So till the time, I may request you all kindly take your seats, grab your chairs because और कुछ पलों में हम आज के इस इवेंट को शुरुआत करेंगे. As we all know, light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. As sunlight expels the darkness of night, similarly, blessings bring in our life with prosperity and happiness. To make this event a blessed one, let's invoke Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. तो आइए इस इवेंट को शुरुआत देते हैं by chanting the गायत्री मंत्र alongside and मैं आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा अपने मन में अपने आराध्य अपने गुरु अपने गॉड का एक बार स्मरण करें और आइए इस इवेंट को आगाज देते हैं.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धि विनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Well, finally, the time has come which we all are waited for. It's time to finally start this event. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Shiv Arora and I am going to be your host as well as your host for this day. It is an absolute honor for me to welcome you all in the launch event of Indican Friendship Club. Basically, Indican Friendship Club is a virtual platform for the Indians and Canadians to connect and build healthy relationships. Keeping the connection between these two countries in mind, this club allows its members to interact, celebrate, and trade virtually. We are going to witness an expert panel which will brief us in depth about ICFC. Before that, let me tell you one most important thing. As we all know, every spring season begins with India celebrating one of its most vibrant festivals. Well, yes, you guessed it right. I'm talking about Vasant Panchmi, or we can say that Saraswati Puja. Basically, this festival is celebrated to honor the welcome of spring season. People specially wear yellow clothes on this day because yellow color is deeply associated with auspiciousness as well as wisdom. And so I hope आप सभी के yellow clothes ready हैं. Just kidding. With this, join me in welcoming our Honorable Secretary of ICFC, Mr. Anmol Chawla, Director, Vraksh Management Private Limited. He is young entrepreneur and an active leader in Rotary International. Join me in welcoming Mr. Anmol Chawla.
Very warm greetings to all our attendees. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome the audience as the Secretary of Indican Friendship Club. You all have made this evening cheerful and enthusiastic. Seeing the amount of participation, I'm more excited for the start. I would like to begin by throwing some light on what our concept is all about. Indican Friendship Club is a virtual platform where you can enroll yourself as a member and get the opportunity to have fun and interact with people across the globe, especially India and Canada. We are hopeful that this will promote the cultural exchange between the people of both the countries. ICFC will offer a thematic experience on the platform that we have created for you. We have organized and planned various weekly engagement events to make your weekends as well as weekdays interesting. TED Talks with special guests, some interesting performances, and celebrating festivals with each other are soon scheduled in line. You can stay in touch and receive all updates by following us on social media for updates and visit our website. Now, thank you so much for your time. I thank you all for sparing your time and being here with us.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chawla, for enlightening us with your kind words. Without any further ado, I would request our president, Shri Surender Gupta ji.
Well, Mr. Gupta is the chairman of Gold Soup Group, a corporate house of Delhi NCR. He is a renowned developer, builder, and financier working in various states of India. He is also involved in various social service programs such as Rotary Club of Delhi Rajdhani, Rotary International, Agarwal Samaj, Vaish Samaj, NGO Suniye, Residential Welfare Association of Vasant Panchmi, PhD Chamber of Commerce, and many more.
To kindly come and say few words.
आज बसंत पंचमी के इस शुभ और पावन अवसर पर आज हमारी इंडिकैन फ्रेंडशिप क्लब की लॉन्चिंग के ऊपर ऑल माय गेस्ट्स, माय ऑफिस बेयरर्स and all people who are attending this seminar from Canada and India and from any other country, मैं सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूं और सभी को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं आज जो हमारा ये लॉन्च हो रहा है। फ्रेंड्स, जैसा कि आपको मालूम है, हमारे इस क्लब बनाने का मेन एम किस प्रकार से आपस में जो इंडिया में जो भारतीय रह रहे हैं या जो कनाडा में इंडिया से जुड़े हुए हैं, इंडिया में जो कनाडा से जुड़े हुए हैं, सभी लोगों का आपस में कैसे आपस के अंदर प्रॉस्पेरिटी डेवलप हो, भाईचारा डेवलप हो, व्यापारिक रिश्ते और मजबूत हो और कैसे लोग अपनी जड़ों से जुड़े रहें। जो लोग आज कनाडा में बहुत बहुत साल से गए हुए हैं, तो कैसे उनके बच्चों में संस्कार आए, भारतीय संस्कार रहे और कैसे वो अपनी जड़ों से जुड़े रहे। इन्हीं सब चीजों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हमने इस क्लब की एक शुरुआत की है। अभी ये हम वर्चुअल क्लब चलाएंगे, परंतु बाद में इसके एक्चुअल क्लब हम कनाडा वगैरह में, न्यागरा में और जगहों पर प्लान करेंगे। इस क्लब के जैसा हमारा मुख्य उद्देश्य है, इसमें हम सर्विसेज के माध्यम से, चाहे सर्विसेज हमारी मैट्रोमोनियल सर्विसेज, हमारी अकाउंटेंसी सर्विसेज, प्रॉपर्टी मैनेजमेंट, सिमिलरली जो हम इसमें नेटवर्किंग, किस प्रकार से वहां पर हमारे लॉयर्स और किसी भी प्रकार की सर्विसेज जो वहां पे इंडियंस को जरूरत है, वो सर्विसेज हम इस पर प्रदान करें। और खास तौर से जो न्यू इमिग्रेंट फ्रॉम इंडिया जाएं, तो कैसे उन जाने में उनकी हेल्प कर सकें, जाने के बाद सेटल होने में हेल्प कर सकें, जो उनको वहां पर रहने की दिक्कतें हैं, नौकरी की दिक्कत है, शादियों में जो हेल्प कर सकें, इस प्रकार से कैसी उनकी सेटलमेंट में हम उनकी हेल्प कर सकें, ये हमारा एक इसका मुख्य उद्देश्य रहेगा। सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ इवेंट्स में हम धार्मिक, सामाजिक, सोशल सभी तरीके के हम अपने इसके अंदर इवेंट्स मनाएंगे, चाहे होली, दिवाली, दशहरा, बैसाखी, राखी, सभी त्योहार हम वहां पर वर्चुअल तरीके से वीडियो के माध्यम से मनाएंगे। और इसी प्रकार से जितने भी रिलीजियस स्थान है इंडिया के अंदर, मंदिर है, वहां पर किस प्रकार से वीडियो के माध्यम से पूजा हो सके, उनकी वर्चुअल दर्शन किस प्रकार से हो सके, इस प्रकार का हम अपना प्लान कर रहे हैं। तो मुझे आशा ही नहीं, पूरा विश्वास है कि आप सब लोग जो इससे जुड़ेंगे, इससे जुड़कर हमारा आपस में दोस्ती, व्यापार, भाईचारा सब बढ़ेगा और सब एक दूसरे के साथ मिलकर, मेन जो हमारे इस क्लब का मुख्य उद्देश्य है, नेटवर्किंग, फ्रेंडशिप और आपस में किस प्रकार से हमारी पहचान बढ़े। जो लोग वहाँ रह रहे हैं, जो लोग जाना चाहते हैं, जो लोग इंडिया में काम करना चाहते हैं, जो लोग कनाडा में काम करना चाहते हैं, उसका एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म तैयार हो जिसमें कि हमारे सभी हम अपनी इच्छाओं को, आकांक्षाओं को, अपने कार्यों को उसको पूरा कर सकें। मैं आप सभी को एक बार पुनः बधाई देता हूं कि जो लोग इससे जुड़े, और आप सभी से निवेदन है कि आप ऑल योर फ्रेंड्स, योर रिलेटिव्स एंड ऑल योर इन योर सर्कल, आप सभी इस लोगों को इस क्लब से जोड़ें और एंजॉय करें, और इस क्लब के माध्यम से हम आपस में सब तरक्की करें, ग्रोथ हो। यही हमारा इसका एक पर्पज है। और सर्विसेज में जैसे कुछ सर्विसेज मेरी रह गई थी, लाइक ट्रेवल, वीजा सपोर्ट, एस्ट्रोलॉजी, बिजनेस इन्वेस्टमेंट, प्रॉपर्टी मैनेजमेंट, आर्किटेक्ट सर्विसेज, कैरियर काउंसलिंग, और इसी प्रकार से बहुत सारी सर्विसेज हम इसमें और जोड़ेंगे। और इस डिफरेंट माध्यमों से हम आपको समय समय पर हम इसको और अपडेट करते रहेंगे। आप अपने सुझाव दें, और जो भी आपके जो भी सजेशंस होंगे उन पर गौर कर हम इसको और बेटर करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर ऑल द वाइज वर्ड्स। और अब जैसा मैंने आप सभी को हमारे इवेंट के बिगिनिंग में ही बताया था, दैट दिस डे इज डेडिकेटेड टू बसंत पंचमी। So join me in welcoming an expert team who's going to present Saraswati Vandana. So put your hands together for the team of Fusion Choreography.
जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, तव चरणों प्रणमामः। जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, तव चरणों प्रणमामः। नाद ब्रह्म जय वागेश्वरी, नाद ब्रह्ममयी जय वागेश्वरी, शरणं ते गच्छामः। जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती। सुरभारती। आसीना भव मानस हंसे, कुंद तुहिन शशि धवले, हर जड़तां कुरुवोधि विकासं, सित पंकज तनु विमले, ललित कलामयी ज्ञान विभामयी, वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी, वीणा पुस्तक धारिणी, मातरस्ताम्नो तव पद कमले, वैकुण्ठाविष हारिणी। जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती, तव चरणों प्रणमामः। भगवति सुरभारती जय जय हे भगवति सुरभा
Thank you so much to the whole team of Fusion Choreography. Well, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाएं for this wonderful performance. Thank you so much once again. और अब बिना किसी देरी के आप सभी से मैं एक ऐसी शख्सियत की मुलाकात करवाने वाला हूं, well, जिन्होंने देश विदेश में इंडिया का नाम रोशन करा है. It's time to welcome the creator of Mohan Veena and winner of Grammy Award. Well, yes, you guessed it right. It's time to welcome Pandit Vishwa Mohan Bhatt Ji. He has mesmerized this whole world with his pristine, pure, delicate yet fiery music. Being the foremost disciple of Pandit Ravi Shankar Ji, he had received the honor of Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan. So with this, I would request our secretary, Mr. Anmol Chawla, to kindly take this opportunity and interview this renowned personality, Pandit Vishwa Mohan Bhatt Ji. एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए everybody.
So, firstly, thank you so much for accepting the invitation. I mean, it means a lot that whatever we want to, push into the virtual atmosphere through the blessings of, from your side. So, it will be, I'm sure, a great start towards something big and a good, I would say, a conversation that we are looking forward to. So we have we have prepared a set of, questions rather not, but yes, some of the observations that we would want, more, I would say, information so that our audience is more enlightened about that. So we would like to hear about your early childhood and what drew you to the music as you grew up. So who was the musician you looked up to, and what inspired you to invent the Mohan Veena? So,
Yes, sir. My childhood was very musical because I belong to a family where the music is flowing, classical music is flowing for the last 300 years. So I in fact, you can say that I got the heredity and the environment also, because in every room in my home, this was in way back 1950 when I was born, and then later on I started realizing that we are living in a Haveli which was given to us by the Maharaja of Jaipur as a gift. And the thing was that they wanted to promote Indian classical music in Jaipur. So we got migrated from south actually 300 years before from Telangana Pradesh. That is my original, this was there. And from there, few Vidwans like Sanskrit Vidwan, Pandit, classical musician, instrumentalist, writers, poets, all they migrated from there. And in Jaipur, Maharajas, Darbar, they were there. So we had a huge Haveli, and we had about, you can say, 21 rooms there, and we were living there all together, our joint family. So in one room, the sound was going of sitar, and in another room, my mother singing, Sakhi karna parat mohe kari parachin din This was going into my ear when I was growing. In another room, my father, Pama pani sara sani da mada pama pama gama gari sani da pama pama pani sara sani da pama 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 gama gama gani ni gama gama pama 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 gama gama pani sa gari sani sani da pama 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 gama gari sani sa gama pani sa gama pani sa gama pani sa. This was in another room. In another room, violin was going on. So my childhood was full of music. So you can imagine that since childhood, if you have this kind of atmosphere, then music is there inside you, and you never know actually. The music is already there. So when I started realizing and playing instruments or singing, that many composition I remember because they were teaching also. So few students were not good, so they had to repeat the thing again and again. And before the student would sing or play, I used to do it. So that was my background, and the musician who inspired me the most was my guru. In fact, Bharat Ratna late Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. Everyone knows about him, the great sitar maestro of our time, and he was my this thing hero, my ideal, and I got so much inspired by his my aim to become like him and follow his path.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. I could just, I had literally goosebumps right now. Listening to that, that everlasting. I would say this is a heritage that you had just shared with us.
Yeah.
I mean, just knowing about that and realizing, or rather empathizing, how it could have been. It's just fantasizes a lot.
It was very fascinating.
Indeed, sir. Indeed, indeed. So I'm sure, many of us might be wondering and thinking about how art and culture can enhance oneself and one's life, or rather the quality of life. So what are your thoughts on that? How the heritage that we carry in India, and we have certain organizations like Spick McKay and others who are promoting art and culture day and night. And so how do you see, that art and culture feeling inside should be imbibed in every person so that it improves the quality of life?
See, music, I think, plays a very important role in each one's life because if you see, since birth we have sanskars, mundan sanskar, then yagyotpavit sanskar, and all these, when the marriage is there, the lady sangeet is there. So sangeet is there, and especially the folk, because the ladies of the house, they sing all the folk music of their own region. And whenever there is some festival, like I belong to Rajasthan, and the festival of Gangor is there, Tej is there. So in Bengal, Durga Puja is there. In South, the festival is there. Then Pongal is there, and Lohri in Punjab. Every state has Ganesh Utsav in Maharashtra. At that time, the music takes a very important role. So since childhood, you listen to those. What they are, the ladies are sitting in the room. It's like mini music concert, and the group is singing. So in my home, when I was growing up, I saw all the ladies sitting with harmonium, dholak, and majira, and everything, and they were like enjoying, and the music was transferring from one generation to another automatically, because all have to sit. Like in Rajasthan, my bhavis and everything, they used to sing Gangor. Khelan jogan go, bhamar man pujan jogan go. Hoji mari saat sahelya jove baat, bhamar man pujan jogan go. This was a puja, Gangor. It is Shiv Parvati actually. So pujan Deo, let me worship this thing. So this was the theme, and so I think in every home, music is there already, and it takes part in one's life very, very strongly. So, what was your question? I forgot.
So it was just, how do you think that music in one's life can improve the quality of their lifestyle?
So see, improvement is always there, because the next generation is very smart. They amend the things,
True.
and they are very, very, very intelligent. The younger generation, when I see, They are very, very intelligent, and I think the development, the improvement, and the innovation is more when the second generation comes and takes over. So I mean, the process of developing is very, very, very strong. It takes place. What we see the music today is much better than it was 100 years before. If I am not wrong, I mean we are keeping the tradition there. We are not losing the tradition, but within the tradition, like myself, you will come later on. This Mohanveena is my invention. So that is something which I created as humbly to give Indian classical music a humble gift from me. That this instrument, new instrument creation. So this generation, I mean the coming generation, can do anything.
Just about that only कि सर कैसे मैंने जैसे ह्यूमन माइंडसेट आई वुड जस्ट शेयर माय स्लाइट एक्सपीरियंस व्हेन इट कम्स टू म्यूजिक सो व्हेन यू आर ड्राइविंग ऑन लॉन्ग रोड्स I mean, the mood changes upside down. I mean, if we want to feel, however we want to feel, every sort of music has its own tempo, has its own leverage over mind. So,
Yeah.
the moods are different. So, how do you feel that, classical music and today's, let's say, electronic music or the evolved music changes the mindset? Is it positive, negative, or how is it accepted by the mind?
Yes, yes. See, you already told this that each music has its own ras and bhav and bhavna and color and mood. Uh, If you talk about classical, it gives you very, very peace in your mind, relaxing and concentrating and what you call meditative mode. But when you listen to some film song or something, then a lot of masala is there, and it is very entertaining. Where the everything is involved, like glamour is all involved. Because when we listen one song, then we start thinking of that heroine or that hero. That oh, this was this. So that haunts in our mind the memories of old or something. If it is new, it's okay. So you feel like if you see something or if you listen to something, then you feel like into it. So I would suggest that in car you must be very careful while driving. Don't listen to so much music, otherwise your concentration will divert to the music more than the driving. So very, very careful. You mentioned about this organization Speak Make. I would like to say a few words about Speak Make. That this Speak Make actually took birth more than 45 years or something. Dr. Kiran Seth, who was in IIT Delhi, he is now retired, I think. He thought of it that because when he was attending a Drupad concert, he saw many people leaving the hall, many young people especially. So he thought that he has to make one organization where he will organize program for younger generation. That was the day his dream came true, and he started this Speak Make organization to provide the students the opportunity to listen to Indian classical music, maestros of their time. तो हम जब concert में बजाते हैं तो very few we see young students coming, and very few. Mostly it is like what we call white-haired audience, because maturity and mature people, they come. So he thought that I will send the artists there in schools, colleges, institute, and IIMs and IITs and universities and everywhere, and then make them in between them. I mean, artists will be available in between them in their auditorium, in their system, in their atmosphere, and they will, they will treat the artist the way it should be, very nicely. So he taught every institute that you have to pay respect. You have to pay respect. You have to put off your shoes. You have to sit like this. I mean, with the asan and concentrate. No talking. Just close your eyes. Listen to performance. So this kind of discipline, I am very happy that I am very close to Speak Make, and I whenever I have time, I go for this Speak Make programs. And Dr. Kiran Seth is he loves me, he likes me, and he likes the way I conduct the workshop or my the lecture demonstration in younger generation. So this organization, I would give 100% mark that they are successful in doing for what they took birth for. And today we see our Indian younger generation, they know about Indian classical music, they know about Indian classical musicians, they know how to listen to it, how to appreciate it, and what respect we have to give to this music. Otherwise, before that time, they only knew Eric Clapton and George Harrison Beatles and Michael Jacksons and Madonnas and this and that. And they also thought that the Grammy Award is only is given to Madonna or Michael Jackson. But I was one of them that I got the Grammy Award. So they were surprised, sir, you got the Grammy Award. How can it is possible? I said, yes, it is possible. Have this confidence in you. Do your work with discipline and with sincerity. Have the depth of that subject you are pursuing, and study it. Listen to people. Read books, this and that. Gain your knowledge and come up to that level. Nobody can stop you. You can do anything.
Indeed, sir. I mean, I would just second on that. I was introduced to maybe Speak Make, let's say 15-16 years back in my school days. And I still remember that individual performance of my school life. After that, it was again introduced to me during my college days when a Speak Make society was to be formed. So I can foresee that, because I mean, as we have been introduced by Sushma, so she's also been part of that organization.
Okay.
So I mean, I can just totally relate how evolution has taken place via Speak Make, I would say, but also keeping intact that yes, youth keeps on engaging with the Indian heritage and culture and keeps on promoting. It is, I guess, of the vital importance that schools and colleges are still involved at large, keeping this, I mean, super, I would say, heritage intact. So that's fantastic. So, sir, I mean, let's say one thing happened that everybody knows in last 2 years, that's COVID-19. And we would like to know, what is your perception with the changing trends as you see, things getting virtual and virtual day by day, for Indian classical music, whether it is being recognized for what it deserves, or the physical concerts are still the ones needed?
We are passing through a very bad time. I would like to mention this, because this corona really changed all the life of everybody. It affected so badly in each one's life, and especially music suffered a lot, because as you mentioned that in live concert performances, stage lighting, good sound, audience sitting there and doing wah wah wah, clapping, and the artist has the spirits that time. Oh, this is the thing. The artist thinks, oh, this is the thing they are liking. So he will immediately adopt that kind of music to make it more interesting. That this is they are understanding this. Okay. Suppose if they are not understanding वो देख रहे हैं कि आर्टिस्ट देख रहा है कि लोग तो ऐसे बैठे हैं, उनको कुछ असर ही नहीं होता है, तो फिर क्या होता है कि दे चेंज कि चलिए तन दे रे न तन दे तन धीम ओके ओके सनी दब मद पम पम गम पनि सनी दब मद पम पम गम 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 मद पम गम गम मद पम गम गम मद पम गम गम सनी सा सा गम प नि सा गम प आप क्लैपिंग आए, तो चलो ठीक है, whatever. This is also classical, but only the way of presentation it took a turn, and that is the skill of the musician, that he works and he sees the atmosphere, and then excels in whatever the mood is going on. So ये फर्क पड़ गया. Online में you are just sitting in front of a camera, and to whom to smile, whom to react, what is there. I mean, what we are doing. It's kind of that feeling is there. But at the end of the day, that something is better than nothing, because this way the I always see the positive side of everything. I see that the audience is enhanced all over the world, because now you are telecasting it. Even one person sitting in America can, who is a classical music lover, he can operate and he can see YouTube live or whatever, Facebook live or whatever it is. So music is spreading, no doubt about it. But somehow, as you mentioned, that we are losing the element of classical, the enthusiasm of the spirit of performance, live performance by the artist. Still we miss that lighting and excitement and sound and people coming and oh wow, wonderful, houseful, great, and the reception, the artist enters and the clap is there. So it gives us a kind of energy to present our best, what we got in our life back, whatever we are carrying in our shoulder. Now is the time to show it. That kind of spirit starts. So that we are missing due to this corona time. Yeah, what was your next?
No, so completely sorry, this is, but yes, since it is the new normal, and let's be hopeful. I mean, we get onto the stages very soon and we witness live there. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. And sir, I mean, if we could hear your Grammy experience, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
how did it actually, take place in front of you? Please, if you can share that experience.
See, to me, I do not go for anything. You know what I mean. I am not so ambitious, or I don't just get mad for doing something or for getting something. We, the musicians, are very honest actually, and the honesty shows in your music also. Your sincerity, your discipline shows in your music also. So what I am trying to say that please do not just die for what you want to do in your life. I mean, you do, and if you are doing good, things will come to you. So I never imagined about that. Oh, I want to work hard for getting the Grammy. That was not my approach. My approach was to have good music, create good music, do something very high quality, music. That was there. So we recorded. My the co-artist was Rai Kuder, the guitar player from America, very famous, and we recorded in Los Angeles. There is a place, very beautiful place, Santa Barbara. We heard about it. Very green and lovely city, cleanest city around Los Angeles. So we did the recording, and interestingly, the recording was done in a church, not in a studio, and no editing, no retakes, nothing. It was just one take, no rehearsals, nothing, no written music, no composition rehearsed. It was just one take and on the spot creativity. So that that kind of music was not there in America. All the time was there, damn, wow. This kind of the sound of guitar and the jazz and pop and rock, and this was there. So in that time, people say, "Oh my God, this is a completely new music coming out with lot of peace into it, and the musical value is so high." So that was something which clicked there. and we were there in top 10 in Billboard chart, which is you must be knowing about Billboard. And then finally it was chosen for the Grammy Award in '93. And on 1st March '94, I went to New York for attending this the grand function of Grammy Award. So very big people, Grammy, how it is the glamorous. Many people were sitting, and okay, then the category came, world music category, and the 5 nominees are so and so, so and so, and the Grammy goes to, then the envelope, and the Grammy goes to a meeting by the river by V.M. Bhatt and Rai Cooder. Oh yeah, I felt that I am on the high in the sky, and I what came to my mind was just that I'm proud of being Indian. That it is given to Indian after Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. I was the one from India who got this 94. So it gave me the encouragement that this is your work is being recognized at the highest level in the world, the Grammy. So that kind of satisfaction and happiness was there in my mind. I immediately called. That time no mobile were there. So I went to a restaurant there in New York. I was walking. I said, I'm very happy now. Let us have some Indian food, because my weakness is vegetarian Indian food. So searching, then suddenly I saw an Indian restaurant there. I entered there, and we entered there just to have something to eat. And to my surprise, the owner was from Jaipur, the city I belong to.
Oh,
She
that
was
is
she got
coincidence.
married there, and oh my God, I said, who? Oh my, you are here? She said, yes, I am. After marriage, I opened this business here. Oh my God, I said, कमाल हो गया.
Such a small world.
हाँ, तो वो बोली कि how come you are in here? I said I came for the Grammy. The Grammy? Just to attend the Grammy function. I said I got the Grammy. Then immediately the landline was there, and she said, okay, inform your parents and your family. So I just called from there, and the family members were so happy. So this was my wonderful experience.
So, sir, just a couple more things. As you mentioned just rightly, that you were one of, I mean, a few amongst Indians, I would say, who won that stage that night. So, how do you feel that pushed the Indian music beyond borders, beyond Indian borders, to the international level after that reward?
Yes. I mean, I'm very small to say this, but yes, when you get the Grammy Award, the attention is there on you. How can he get the Grammy? That question is always there in the listener's mind. So they want to listen to, oh, this reached up to that height, then we must listen to it. And then they justify it. Oh, deserving or non-deserving. They decide फालतू में ही करते हैं, लेकिन करते हैं. That's how the music reaches all over the world. That is a benefit of this kind of award. तो उसमें ये होता है कि लोगों का ध्यान जाता है कि oh, this can get the Grammy, this kind of music, तो वो उसके वजह से our music spreads. So I am very happy that in my I am the smallest, I would like to say, in front of all the giants. It affected little bit, and people started, inquiring about Indian classical music, how it is, what is the tradition, why they call it spiritual, why this and that, and what is the system of Indian classical music you follow, and how can you play a rag for 1 hour? This kind of curiosity starts, and lot of questions pouring in my interviews and everything, and invitations and for concerts enhanced. Your status is high. This kind of things happens in one's life.
Right, I can totally. I mean, just is such a fantasizing thought. I mean, a lot of musicians, I'm sure, might be aiming for such great heights. And
Yeah.
what would your be? I mean, what would be your inspirational message to them? That how should you, go about it? Let's say, considering that music is evolving every day, and
Mhm.
the content is flowing in, uniquely. I would say from all parts of the country.
Mhm.
So how do you see?
See,
Yeah.
I always love to tell the younger generation, because younger generation, they are very important uh, part of society these days, because they are going to make the future of India is there in their hand. So they have what I say always, that be very sincere, know about yourself, number one, who you are, from where you came, and what is the name of your seven generations, you know, Dada, Pardada, Sardada, all, Dadi, this thing. You should know what they were doing. Know about your aim of life. क्योंकि the heredity comes to you. आपके जो दादा थे, उनमें जो गुण था, उनमें से एक गुण आप में आ सकता है. परदादा थे, उनका भी एक गुण आ सकता है. You never know it, but you should know it. That is the thing. Aristotle told every man, men mean women also. Everybody has one gun. Gun means one virtue in his system. If he can recognize it and develop it, he will excel. Otherwise, sometimes it is diverted in another direction due to the situation. Like every layman, you or me, we always say, अरे हम बच्चे को डॉक्टर बनाएंगे, हम बच्चे को इंजीनियर बनाएंगे, तो पैसा थोड़ा ज़्यादा आएगा, that kind of mentality is there. तो हमको वो नहीं करना चाहिए जो पैसा कमाने के उद्देश्य को लेकर किया जाएगा. हमको वो करना चाहिए कि हमारे अंदर क्या गुण विद्यमान मेरे परिवार की वजह से हुआ है, उसको पहले बनाना पड़ेगा. देन आगे फिर सब अपने आप रास्ते बनते जाएंगे. आजीविका भी मिल जाएगी आपको. सबको जब भगवान ने शरीर दिया तो सब कुछ देगा भगवान. तो वही मैं कहता हूँ कि अपने आप परिवार के बारे में जानिए, फिर अपने देश के बारे में आपकी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को समझिए. आप नागरिक हैं, नागरिक के क्या कर्तव्य होते हैं वो समझिए. अमेरिका की आप सिटीजनशिप लेने जाएंगे तो आपको एक टेस्ट पास करना पड़ेगा. उसमें जितने अमेरिका के प्रेसिडेंट हुए शुरू से लेके आज तक, उनकी पूरी जीवनी आपको याद होनी चाहिए कि उन्होंने कौन थे, वो उनके नाम और उनके काम. तब जाके पास हो गए तो आपको मिलेगी. तो हमारे यहाँ भी क्या होता है कि वी गेट दिस सिटीजनशिप बाय बर्थ, लेकिन वी हैव टू टीच. सो व्हाट आई इंसिस्ट इन schools and colleges, that there should be one this thing subject where they should teach the culture, the etiquette, the manners, and the about their this thing, what I was talking about, कि कौन सा कहाँ से क्या होता है, उसका स्टडी उसमें होना चाहिए. कल्चर की स्टडी होनी चाहिए कि हम अपने माँ बाप को प्रणाम क्यों करते हैं, वो उनको बताना चाहिए कि करना ही चाहिए आपको. एवरी डे शुरू दिन होने से पहले आप अपने उनके चरण छुइए. तो ये संस्कार डालने के लिए एक पीरियड संस्कार का होना चाहिए. ये मैं कहता हूँ स्कूल्स कॉलेजेस. तो यंगर जनरेशन को मैं यही कहता हूँ कि अपने जो बुजुर्ग, आपके जो परिवार के जो ऐसे मेंबर जो सबसे ज्यादा उम्र दराज हों, द ओल्डेस्ट मेंबर ऑफ योर फैमिली, यू शुड सिट विद देम, हैव नॉलेज विद देम, और उनसे पूछते जाइए सवाल. आधे घंटे सवाल पूछते जाइए उनसे कि हम कौन है, कहाँ से आए हैं, क्या करते थे. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है. उनको भी अच्छा लगेगा कि आप उनके पास में. और हमारे यहाँ वैसे भी संस्कृति है कि जब तक छोटा पोता दादा दादी की गोद में बैठ के रामायण या कुछ भी नहीं सुनेगा तो फिर मजा नहीं आएगा उसको, वो जिंदगी में उसमें एक कमी रह जाएगी। तो वो कमी मत रहने दीजिए, पूरी तरह से जो हमारे सिस्टम बने हुए उसको फॉलो कीजिए और हमारे देश, हमारी धरोहर, हमारी संस्कृति सबकी रक्षा कीजिए। यंगर जनरेशन, यू हैव द पावर, यूटिलाइज इट इन ए पॉजिटिव वे। और किसी में मत जाइए, कहीं कुछ ध्यान मत लगाइए, जस्ट कंसंट्रेट ऑन योर एम। अपना एम निर्धारित कीजिए, जरूर कर लीजिए और उसकी तरफ आगे अपनी जो आपकी रचनात्मक जो आपका कदम है वो उठाइए और आगे बढ़िए।
Such a lovely and sir, inspiring discourse about for all the youngsters that are coming on board, I would say, into this industry, and I'm sure they would take the heritage to a much larger level in the future run, because music never dies, I feel, and music in every person rather never dies. Being that person is a musician or not, it doesn't matter. I mean, that soul is still there, which experiences that music to the depth. That's important. Sir, बस आपसे थोड़ा, if possible, I mean, just a request, वो मीटिंग बाय द रिवर का जो आपका ग्रामी विनिंग ट्रैक है, so उसका कुछ हमें गुनगुनाहट मिल सकती है, if possible, for our...
Actually, the instrument, it is instrumental more.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
The tune is da 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 This was the meeting by the river track. The one was I did experimental with the rules and this kind of jin tak 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 jin chik chak chak tak tak jin tak 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 da 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 da. This kind of composition I did a little fast and with the beat. अभी तो ज़्यादा मैं कर नहीं सकता because it was instrumental. I think we have to wind up.
I know, sir. I mean, thank you so much, sir, for your precious time, I would say, and for such a lovely experience sharing. I'm sure, this inspires a lot of people, India and beyond. And it was great hosting you, sir. Thank you so much.
Lovely talking.
Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच सर, आप आपका कीमती समय निकालकर हमारे ICFC के इस लॉन्च इवेंट का हिस्सा बने. थैंक यू सो मच वंस अगेन. एंड यस, how can I forget to thank our secretary Mr. Anmol Chawla for conducting this wonderful session. Thank you so much. Whenever we talk about a belief that all souls are intrinsically good and that God is the only source of all the goodness, the only organization that comes to our mind is Brahmakumaris. Om Shanti. And today we are so much fortunate to witness Brahmakumari's National Coordinator of Canada, Brahmakumari brother Eric Lareste, or Brother Eric. Well, he is a producer in Canada Broadcast Company by profession and an author in Daily Guardian. Join me in welcoming none other than Brother Eric. First of all, a warm welcome to you, Brother Eric, on behalf of the whole family of Indican. Well, I have some sort of questions for you, and to make this session more interactive, I'm gonna ask few questions and you can answer it with respect to Brahmakumaris. So my first question to you is, in this day and age of social media, comparing ourselves with other is inevitable, as we all know, and it ultimately take away our peace of mind. So how does one stop complaining? We all need the answer for this question.
This is a very beautiful question, and thank you for asking. So, namaskar and greetings of peace to each and every one, and loving greetings from Canada. Canada, as you know, has been known throughout history as a peaceful country and a peacekeeper. We used to have, a certain role in diplomatic fields where Canada will always play the role of maintaining peace. So this subject of maintaining peace, in the world, in our world, and in our inner world is very, very interesting. And we say that in spirituality, you have 3 kinds of cancer for the mind, C letter, and it's called compare, compete, and complain.
Okay.
And we know that if you compare, you start competing, and you will just end up complaining. So whenever the mind is engaged into comparing, competing, and complaining, it's like a cancer of the self. It's like the cells are dying. The spiritual light of the soul is dying when we do that. And so the solution is often to find another aspect where we cannot compare, compete, complain, but when we can connect, collect, and correct. So there's a much better use of the letter C, which doesn't become a cancer, and it becomes connect with the divine, connect with the self as a soul, not as a body, or as a Canadian, or as a Chinese, as a Christian, or as a Hindu, but to connect on a deeper level as a soul, connect with the Supreme. Then we can collect. We can collect means we can exchange qualities, values. No, we just collect. You said something, oh, very nice. I really enjoy what you said. I connect with the Supreme, then I collect his virtues, his powers. Then I can correct if something needs to be corrected. But that means I'm maintaining my state of peace. Correction, complaining, competing, all this is going to create division. But to connect, to collect, to correct, creates harmony, creates peace. So it's very, very simple. Just needs to change the spelling of the words.
Well, indeed, it is an answer that I am expecting. Thank you so much. So my next question to you is particularly youth. If we talk about youth, youth is confused in themselves. They got distracted from their goals and vision. Also, they feel helpless for their responsibility. So how should youth deal with distraction?
Well, what I think they will find is that the more confusion there is in the information they receive, the less happy they become.
Yes.
And what we have seen, and I work in the media, I've been a media person for 35 years, and I work in social media as well. I produce information that goes on social media. And what we've seen is that the younger generation is becoming very confused, but very unhappy. So the rate of depression, suicide, conflict, pain, I mean, people in social media can be hurting each other so badly that recently, again, I saw that a former Miss America committed suicide because she was insulted so much on social media that she couldn't tolerate her life. And she was the most beautiful woman, and yet being told so many bad things in social media. So for young generation, I think they have come to a point now when they realize that the more they consume unnecessary information, the lower their happiness becomes. So there will be a point where we need to provide content for the youth that brings meaning, but also that creates happiness for them. And this is going to be very difficult. I have to say, I've tried to sometimes bring younger generation closer to spirituality. And it's difficult because the distraction and the negativity of the world takes them away. But if we can then feel that they can gain happiness by becoming more selective from what they take on the social media, I think we can, attract them. But we need to provide positive content. We cannot just say, stop this, stop that, don't do this, don't do that. We need to create a new content. And that's why we have in the Brahmakumaris many programs for the youth so that they can enjoy an alternative. If there's no alternative, And the only thing you can, deal with is destructive pattern of information. It's not going to help. So we need to provide very positive, attractive content, very relevant for the youth, where they feel more and more happy. That's what I would try to do.
Well, you said each and everything to the point, and that we are expecting. So quickly, if I'll jump to my next question to you is, we often say that a life story is destined. God knows everything. God has already pre-written our story. But we give equal importance to karma. So what are your opinion on karma cycle? Not only about the things which God has already pre-planned, but if we can talk about karma, so what are your views upon that?
Yes, well, they call it, it's the paradox in spirituality, that on one hand, things are fixed and predestined, but on the other hand, we have free choice. It's a paradox, but both can exist at the same time. In a sense that if I, for example, play, a sport, any sport, tennis or something, before I hit the ball, if I stop and you have great scientists that will analyze my weight, the length of my arm, the size of the ball, the speed of the wind, the humidity in the air, they can predict. They will predict. They say, when he hits the ball, scientifically proven, the ball is going to go there, because it's a mathematical action. So in a way, you can say it's predestined. I hit the ball and it goes there because it's calculated. But at the last second, I still have the free will to change my mind and to say, instead of hitting the ball like this, I'm going to do another movement. That was my choice, and I changed the destiny. So the destiny is only the reflection of my current karma. As I do, so shall I reap. So I cannot change the future unless I change the present. So if we don't change anything, you would say, well, the destiny is there, but I can change my destiny by changing my karma. So it's a paradox, but we find that we have that free will. This is why we encourage everyone to make the right choice. I can say the bad words to my wife or my husband or my child, and I can use bad words in my communication, or I can change my mind and say, no, I'm going to be respectful. It's a choice I have, but the destiny is written with my current karma.
Well, this is something beyond my imagination. Like in आसान भाषा में हम जनरली एक चीज कहते हैं कि उसका कर्म. But यहाँ पर जिस beautiful way में ब्रदर एरिक ने हमें एक्सप्लेन करी है कर्मा साइकिल, this is something beyond my imagination. Thank you so much, brother Eric. Quickly, my last question to you on behalf of the whole Indican family is, I want to shower your blessing on Indican Friendship Club, because your blessing mean a lot to us through your words, and also guide us for this upcoming journey.
Well, I find this initiative very, very, very positive. I've been to India 30 times or more in my life. I've been to India many, many times. I've done this import-export business with India on a spiritual level. Physically, I brought a lot of maple syrup, and I brought back a lot of beautiful things from India. But I think that in a spiritual level, I've learned so much from the culture, from the wisdom, from the people I've met in India. And I know I brought with me the sparkle of the Canadian peaceful nature, the hopes that we embodied in Canada. Canada is a country of hope. And my wish really, and the blessing for each one participating in this project, is to become a spiritual architect, to create a Shantidham, a place of peace. And I think we as individuals collectively can create a space where we feel peaceful, but everyone else can enter that space and feel peaceful. And for this, I think that spiritual architects are very useful in the same way that, to create a Taj Mahal, you just don't wake up one morning and start making it up. You have to have a plan, you have to create it properly. and architects are necessary. So in creating a world of peace, or creating a space of peace between two nations, we need spiritual architects, those who can understand the needs and the systems that will sustain peace. And we know that as a spiritual architect, we have our inner resources. We have our mind, an incredible, and the mind is a mine of resources. It's the most powerful mine. You can dig out diamonds from a mine, but what can you dig out of your mind? It's the richest mine in the world. The intellect is the greatest intelligence, and our personality or character can shape whatever we want into relationships. So we have the tools, the mind, the intellect, our character, our personality, to create this Shantidham, this place of peace where everybody can feel peace. So that's my wish. That thank you for the invitation. I think that collectively, if we create a bridge of peace, then we can create a world of peace, no doubt. So blessings to each and every one, filled with the heart of peace, and to each and every one, our great mantra is Om Shanti. We are beings of peace.
All right, everybody. So now let's move ahead towards entertainment section. Well, yes, we are so glad to have Delhi-based indie pop rock band, which is Delhi Indie Project. And this particular band is solely known for their versatility and their unique music. So put your hands together for none other than Delhi Indie Project.
Hey guys, we are the Delhi Indie Project.
And today we are super happy to perform for the audience of Indican Friendship Club and our dear friend from India and Canada.
I'm going to request all of you to, crack open your bottles. Come on, people, if you don't have any more calls, you can grab your drink, because it's going to be a fun evening. We've got some amazing bands and musicians performing for all of you. And so we're going to, without wasting further time, we're going to move on to the first song, which is a retro number, a beautiful song that I love. And let it be a surprise for all of you.
It's one of your favorites too.
Of course. And we're not going to name it.
Yes. so much.
And the next song we're going to play is for all the Queen fans. And this one's a special song.
We can name it.
Yeah, we can name this one.
This one is called
Crazy Little Thing Called Love, everyone. This thing called love, I just can't handle it. This thing called love, I must get around to it. I am ready. Crazy little thing called love. This thing called love always cries when the queen will lie and swing with chimes. Shakes all over like a jellyfish. I kinda like it. Crazy little thing called love. There goes my baby. Come on, people. She knows I rock and roll. She drives me crazy. She gives me all the cool fever. She leaves me in a cool, cool sweat. I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on my tracks, take a backseat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love.
Give it up for Ashley.
Everyone,
We're gonna sing along.
I gotta be cool, relax, get hip, get on my tracks, take a backseat, hitchhike, take a long ride on my motorbike until I'm ready. Crazy little thing called love. Come on, people. This thing called love. I just can't handle it. This thing called love. I must get around to it. I ain't ready. Crazy little thing called love. Crazy little thing called love. Come on, people. Crazy little thing called love. 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 Thank you so much.
Thank you. All
Quickly
right.
moving on to the next song. This is a treat for all the Hrithik Roshan fans. And this one's Gumru for all of you, everyone.
Party time, people.
Come on, people.
You gotta groove with us. Here we go.
Sa so much.
With this, we are moving towards the concluding section of this launch event. I would request our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Anmol Chawla, to kindly come for a formal vote of thanks. Put your hands together for Mr. Anmol Chawla.
Thank you, Shiv. We have reached the end of this event and gives me an honor to show our gratitude to each one of you. We have invested a lot of time and emotions integrating this club together. There's so much more to be done and it will keep on happening with all your love. I would like to present my hearty gratitude to Vishwa Mohan Bhatt Ji for joining us as the chief guest, then Brahmakumari's brother Eric Lareste for being our special guest. Our gratitude to the performers of the event, Fusion Choreography and Delhi Indie Project. Thank you so much. Last but not the least, the person behind stitching the whole evening together, our anchor Shiv Arora. I'm thankful to all the participants for joining us here. This couldn't have been possible without my team at ICFC. Lastly, I would like to mention all the attractions on our website. You can find a selfie booth in our lobby wherein you can click a picture on our specially designed ICFC booth for you. We would love to see your clicks on our social media platforms. We have also created a business card exchange corner, especially for the people who want to promote their business on this platform. You can upload your business card and it will be visible to everyone visiting the business gallery. More and more features are coming in on the website. We are looking forward to hosting you once again. Thank you so much for joining us today and have a great evening and a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chawla, for this wonderful formal vote of thanks. Well, the most hardest thing in the world is to say goodbye. But this event, this launch event is just a trailer. The rest of the movie is still there. So we wish to see you again. But yes, if you want to join this Indican family, so what you need to do? You just need to visit the website which is right there on your screen. Well, yes, www.indicanfc.com. Do check out the website and join this club so that in future we will interact more, we will build strong relationship, and most importantly, we will exchange business. This is your host and your dost Shiv Arora, formally signing off. See you all in the very next event of Indican Friendship Club.